Well, you know, with limited tickets that we have available this year, it's imperative, really. I mean, we implore our fans to, if they can't make the meet, that they go through the exchange or they find a way to get people in the seats, because the more people we have in the PMAC, the greater the atmosphere, and it really is impactful for our team to have each of the seats that are identified as bought tickets with the pom-poms on them, that they're occupied, because it makes a tremendous difference in terms of the atmosphere. We had a great utilization rate in the first meet, and we really want to see that continue to increase as we go throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's a lot more luck involved than I'm sure coaches would like to.
A lot more. People can walk around with their chest puffed out. Yeah, there's a lot of times people walk around with their chest puffed out like they haven't had any problem, and then they get smacked with one. So we're not doing that. We're trying to be diligent in our adherence to what we know we need to do, but we're also trying to be effective in the way that we train and prepare. So those two are very independent things, but at the same time, there is some crossover and some having to strike a balance too.
If you have to go, I just have one or two more questions. If you have to go, it's fine.
No,
I just enjoy getting your perspective.
I'm good.
This may be a stupid question, but I'll ask it anyway, since it's kind of a one-on-one. Where do you think you guys are in terms of people getting vaccinated? I mean, you have healthy young athletes that you're dealing with, but you're trying to get through a season and stuff like that. I mean, are y'all at the end of the? Do you just figure that your young ladies are at the end of the line and you go from there, or what?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything that would lead me to believe that that the vaccine will be available to student athletes or people in this age group anytime soon, because the reality is that
that's what I figured.
Yeah, most of them, when they get it, it's relatively mild, and so I do know that some of our healthcare staff here on campus, some of our trainers and stuff, have already been notified that they're going to be able to get it. So I just don't know. I don't know where we are in the pecking order of that. Nobody's really given us any indication.
You just have to assume that it's at the end of the list.
I would imagine, I would imagine we're not at the top. I mean, maybe people in my age group get there sooner than later. I don't know, but I don't know. We just wait to hear. We don't, wait to hear.
And Ashley, will she be able to be with you Friday?
Yes. Yep. And the good news about that is that with both she and Bob, that if something happens, they don't. They're in their 90 or 120 days, whatever the current policy is, where they've got their antibodies and don't even have to be tested. So that part's good.
Well, good. I'm sure you're happy to have her at the meet. And,
yeah.
And is she able to? She's good like all week. Is she gonna be working with the girls?
Yeah, she's here. She got out of quarantine Saturday, so she's here now, and I can't tell you how relieved I am. It's meets are hectic, and there's a lot of little responsibilities that go on, that you've got to be paying attention to, and having another set of eyes, and head coach can't. It's difficult. It can be done, but it's difficult to keep up with everything in the middle of a meet.
Yeah. Did Ashley Clark Kearney go with y'all to Arkansas or not?
No. So that meet Friday night wore me out at an epic level.
Yeah. So the other Ashley Clark ACK, she didn't go with y'all.
No.
She wasn't able to go with y'all to Fayetteville.
No.
Okay. I didn't see her on the floor, but it's so hard to tell.
Yeah, her job
really
prevented her from going, so she wasn't there. So it was me and Bob. But we got through it. But we did have, I will say this, we did have Kennedy. Kennedy is a fifth-year student assistant, and so I had her kind of communicate with Bugs on the verbiage, kind of like what we did with ACK in the first meet, and Kennedy was that calm, quiet voice in the midst of the storm that got them through it. I just stood back and watched on beam. Once I told Elena she was in first, and I didn't have a whole lot of interaction with them after that.
She did well. she handled it very
She
very
did.
well.
She had about 25 seconds notice before touch started. She looked at me and she goes, "First?" And I said, "Yeah, first. You're up." But
But you could have changed the order, right?
we could have, but as a general rule of thumb, I won't. If there's an alternate that's there, that warmed up, if somebody comes out, they're going to go in that spot. I'm not a fan of disrupting everyone else's mindset and rhythm and getting them out of their spot. So I just, wherever that spot is, that's where they usually go in.
Well, just any more thoughts after you reviewed the meet, and we talked after the meet. Is anything that jumped out to you, or I think Haley said there's more stuff that y'all have in the arsenal that you can do. I mean, is there a desire yet to improve or change a difficulty or introduce a new skill or something like that?
No, because at this point we haven't had a complete meet yet. I was obviously very pleased with the improvement and the outcome, and certainly when you go on the road for the first time and do as well as we did, that's a big hurdle to get over for every team early in the season. So, but we've still got plenty of places to improve, plenty of things that we need to iron out and continue to get better as we go. And you may see some different things this week. We may get to exhibition some people that have not been able to go much and get them some experience on things that are upgrades for us down the line, but that to this point they haven't had enough of just from a timeline perspective, haven't had enough numbers to really get it in there. And I'm thinking specifically about Cam does a Yurchenko 1.5 vault that is really, really lights out. But we've wanted to bring her along slowly and not throw her into the fire too quickly, just to get her comfortable and make sure her confidence is where it needs to be. So there's some things like that are there, Scott, but not. I wouldn't say there's any categorical changes to the routines you've already seen that we'll do.
Back home, you got to what you said. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about that. So I know usually in an SEC meet, y'all don't let people do exhibition routines, but y'all are gonna be allowed.
When we're on the SEC Network Plus, which is the streaming version, we have a lot more latitude. We don't have the time constraints that the main platforms provide. So this will be our first time on that platform, and so it gives us, and probably Georgia will want to do it too. It gives it in a year when we're conference only and we don't have a lot of latitude for mixing up your lineups too much, because you can lose real quick doing that. So you have to. So we take advantage of these opportunities where we get to get some kids some experience that haven't gotten in the lineup yet.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask a Georgia-related question. It's different in the fact that you're the head coach now and everything, but you've been here for a lot of years now, many more than you were the head coach at Georgia. So,
right. Yeah.
Any thoughts about it being other than is it any more than just another meet, or are you trying to think of it that way, or is it always going to be a little?
You know what it is? It's a meet we need to win because it's an SEC meet, and it goes towards one of our listed goals that we have, and so it's a meet that's important, just like every other one. I'm a Tiger. I'm LSU. That's where I am. That's who we are. It's who our family is now, and we have our alma mater, and we'll always have affection for our alma mater. But it is completely independent of our allegiance to our team, our sports here at LSU. I mean, we are dyed-in-the-wool LSU Tigers at this point, and I don't really give it another thought. When we go to Athens, we still have a lot of friends, and we see them, and it's nice to catch up with people. But beyond that, this is another competition that's in the toughest conference in all of the land, and we need to put our best foot forward and try to win it just like we do every other one.